Hello everyone. This is a algebra model of the ISLM curve, and ISLM is an older explanation of the Keynesian model. It's been around for a while, but I really like it because it drops what I think is kind of a naive assumption that interest rates aren't affected by governmental policy. And in this model, interest rates are incorporated in. You'll see them here in the consumption function and here in the level of investment. So let's get started. The IS function is what we called in the simple Keynesian model the goods market, or Y is equal to C plus I plus G plus XN. And then it's just a simple matter of substituting what all those things are. You'll notice that the consumption function is given to be 100 plus 0.8 times YD minus 1000 R, and then so that's C, and then I is also given to be this equation, 300 minus 1500 R, and then G was 1200, and then net exports. Okay, so net exports are exports minus imports. Notice I changed this import function just a little bit so that the math would work out easier. So net exports are exports, which is 200, minus imports, which are 0.05 YD plus 500 R. Pay attention to those parentheses there because you need those. If you drop those parentheses, you will lose the fact that this negative sign applies to this term right here and also to the 500R. Okay, so we have a kind of a mess there, but it will collapse down pretty easily. Let's gather up all those whole numbers. So I have 100 plus 300 plus 1200 plus 200. So all my whole numbers work out to be 1800 plus 0.8 YD minus 1000 R minus 1500 R minus 0.05 YD minus 500 R. Again, don't forget that this negative sign applies to this 0.05 YD, and I've written it here without the parentheses, and it also applies to this 500R, which I've now written as minus 500R. So in the next step, let's gather up all of my R terms. Those are the interest rates. So I have 1800 plus 0.8 YD minus 1000. This would be 2500. This would be 3000 R. And don't forget this other term over here that I haven't copied down yet. So it's 1800 plus 0.8 YD minus all the R terms minus 0.05 YD. So let's gather up my YD terms. I have 0.8, and then I have a minus, sorry I left that out, a minus 0.05 YD. So that leaves me with 1800 plus 0.75 YD. See that? Because it's 0.8 minus 0.05 minus 3000 R. Now let's go ahead and deal with that YD. You might remember that YD, disposable income, is your gross income minus your taxes. Here, let's work it over here. So YD equals Y minus taxes. And in this case, taxes are 20% of your income. So YD would be 1Y minus 0.2Y, or 0.8Y. So YD is 0.8Y. I'm going to substitute that here. So I have 0.75 times YD, but I know that YD is 0.8Y minus 3000 R. Now 0.75 times 0.8 leaves me with 0.6Y minus 3000 R. going to subtract 0.6y from both sides. Remember, I had already a y over there. Remember, this y just sort of comes down. I'm going to subtract 0.6y from both sides. I get 0.4y equals 1800 minus 3000 r. Dividing through by 0.4. Now I'm going to do that little step that I ask you always to do. It's 1 over 0.4 times 1800 minus 3000 r. The only reason I do that is because that's the actual multiplier that came from the simple Keynesian model. But now we'll go ahead and apply it, and we get y is equal to 1800 divided by 0.4 gives me 4500 minus 3000 divided by 0.4 gives me 7500 r. So that thing right there is my equation for the IS curve. My equation for the IS curve, and I think I'll just draw it up here. So this axis is income, and this is the interest rate, and we have our IS curve, which is a set of all the equilibrium interest rates and corresponding income levels that clear the goods market. So that was a lot of work, but it's, the other one, the LM curve, is much easier, so let's do that over here. To find the LM curve, the setup is L equals M, or that just means the money demand equals the money supply. Those things are given. The money demand was 0.5y minus 2000 r, and the money supply was given to be 2171.25. See that? Okay, so I'm going to add the 2000 r to both sides. I get 0.5y equals 2171.25 plus 2000 r. And I'm going to divide both sides by 0.5. I get y is equal to 2171.25 divided by 0.5. I get 4342.5 plus 2000 divided by 0.5 is 4000 r. Okay, so that's my LM curve. So I have an IS curve and I have an LM curve. The LM curve represents all the equilibrium interest rates and incomes where the money market clears. The IS curve is the clearing of the goods market. So right here, both the money market and the goods market both clear. And we have an equilibrium income and interest rate. The way you find those is you just set the LM curve and the IS curve equal to each other. I'm a little crowded here, but I think I can do it. Let's see. LM was 4342.5 plus 4000 r equals the IS was 4500 minus 7500 r. So I'm going to move, let's see, I'll move all my r's on the left hand side, so I got 4000. I'm going to add 7500, so I get 11500 r. I'm going to put all my whole numbers on the right hand side, so I had over there already 4500. I'm going to subtract out 4342.5, and I get 157.5. Dividing through now, I get R is equal to 0.0136, or 1.36%. It's a really low number, but hey, in these times, I'm doing this video in 2013, that number is not too far off. So the interest rate is 0.0136, and we should be able to get the equilibrium income level by taking that interest rate and putting it in either to the IS curve or to the LM curve. I think I should do it both ways. So if I take the 0.0136 and I put it in the LM curve, it would be times 4,000. Add that to 4342.5, and I get an equilibrium income level of 4,396.9. I'm crowded here, so I'm going to write it on top. 4396.9. So we have the IS function, the LM function, equilibrium income, the interest rate. Tax revenue collected is just 20% of equilibrium income. So it's 4396.9 times 0.2 would give us tax is collected of 7879.38. And the level of imports comes from here. So it's 5% of disposable income. So let's get disposable income was 4396.9. That was gross income minus our taxes 879.38. That's my disposable income right there. And then take my disposable income, multiply it by 0.05, and then add 500 times R, so it'd be plus 500 times the interest rate, 0.0136. So I get the level of imports as 182.676. And then it asks, is the government's budget in surplus or deficit? Well, the government spent $1,200 and they only raised $879 in taxes, so it's a deficit, and you can give the amount. Is the trade balance in surplus or deficit? Well, let's see, they exported $200 worth of stuff, but they imported $182.67. So they have a trade surplus, a very small one, and you can give the amount. Now, one other thing that might be helpful, the power of the IS curve is how it shows what happens to interest rates when you engage in different kinds of fiscal policy. For example, suppose we increased government spending. If we took this number and we increased it, say, to 1,500, all that would happen is that this number would go up, right? Instead of being 1,800, it would be 2,100, and then it would impact this thing right here. It would cause the IS curve to shift out to the right. You can work the math if you want, but you will see that it moves the IS curve out to the right. And this distance, that is the horizontal distance between the old IS curve and the new IS curve, that distance right there is the prediction from the simple Keynesian model of what would happen if we stimulated the economy by increasing government spending. But you can see now that we've incorporated interest rates into the model that this stimulation in the economy will cause incomes to rise, and it will have a side effect of causing interest rates to go up. So interest rates will go up, and when interest rates go up, it will cut back on the multiplier effect of this extra government spending. So the true increase in equilibrium income will be much, much less, be that little distance, than what you would have predicted from the simple Keynesian model, where there's no assumption that interest rates change. So that's the power of the IS curve, and I hope you found this helpful. Good luck.